Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back your lovely faces to part 2 of the Barresi motion to dismiss against AH superfan Christina Taft. Straight off the bat, Christina Taft does seem to be a couple of sandwiches short of a picnic basket. And the reason for that is because when you go into what we are going to look at now, we've already covered in the first part where she's trying to get the RICO Act against them. And it's like, first of all, you're not a member of the federal government. You're not an FBI agent. You're not doing a case against them because, well, you're not allowed to do that. And what we will see, the amount of examples that Barresi's team have put into this is absolutely amazing because it's literally shooting down every single one of her claims against him. It's like, well, he's doing it. And it's like, yeah, well, look at this, look at this, look at this. This is not right. She is literally using and abusing the court system, which is exactly what's true. So let's get into it. We are saying this is the argument now. So the plaintiff's federal criminal claims should be dismissed for failure to state a claim upon which relief may be granted. The plaintiff lacks standing to prosecute defendant for alleged violations of criminal law. It is a fundamental precept of law that the terrifying force of the criminal justice system may only be brought to bear against an individual by society as a whole, through a prosecution brought on behalf of the government, and that a criminal prosecution pits the government against the governed, not one private citizen against another. So Taft against Barresi. It doesn't work like this. But just that part by there, I want to know who wrote up her lawsuit, or who even accepted her lawsuit. And it's like, really? Judges are going to look at all of this and just go, yeah, no chance. This is just absolutely ridiculous, which is what it is. And it goes on with it, as we were saying, with all the examples going in. And the amount of examples is absolutely amazing. I really do like how they are literally going, well, this is what's happened before. It's, come on, judge, look. And the judge is probably going to look at this and be like, yeah, this is stupid. She has no rights to do this. But the plaintiff does not provide any authority establishing that as a private citizen, she is standing to enforce the criminal statute she incites as the basis of her claims. At one, in short, although the plaintiff's complaint referenced violations of certain federal criminal statutes, the plaintiff, as a private citizen, does not have standing to prosecute violations of federal criminal statutes. I've said it quite a few times, but my mind is just blown because she thinks she can do all of this. You know, it's insane. For this reason alone, plaintiff's FC claims should be dismissed with prejudice and without leave to amend. The criminal statutes forming the basis of plaintiff's claims do not create a private cause of action. Setting aside the plaintiff's lack standing to prosecute Barresi for perpetrated violations of federal criminal law in this civil lawsuit, the federal criminal claims are also subject to dismissal because none of the criminal statutes from which they arise provide plaintiff with a private right of action. It is exceedingly rare for a private right of action to exist under a federal criminal statute. See the Chrysler Corp vs. Brown. We noted that this court has rarely implied a private right of action under a criminal statute, and where it has done so, there was at least a statutory basis for inferring that a civil cause of action of some sort lay in favour of someone. Quotations were omitted. No private right of action under Trade Secrets Act. There is ample case law confirming that the statutes invoked by plaintiff in a complaint are no exception. But as we went over in part 1 as well, where we have seen that she has hired a disbarred lawyer. She was disbarred 18 years ago for stealing just under $400,000 from her client's trust. And to be honest with you, that's all she was found guilty of, is that. It could be more. No one knows. But when you hire someone who is being disbarred because, well, they're a crook, they're a criminal, and then you're like, I'm going to have him on my team and I'm going to just put in this civil lawsuit that is absolutely just full-on baloney. It's absolutely insane. The federal criminal conspiracy statute that forms the basis of plaintiff's first claim for relief does not create a private right of action. Then we got Henry versus Universal Tech, where they said a district properly dismissed the claims under the Family Educational and Privacy Act, because these statutes do not provide a private right of action. You know what? We know that Christina Taft has money. We know this. It almost like she thinks money can buy everything. And she is going to learn the hard way that it can't. That's what's going to happen with this, because this is just insane. We are going to skip past a few of these things here. So obviously the same is true for plaintiff's second claim for relief, predicted on the federal criminal law against obstruction of justice. Only a prosecutor can bring criminal charges, and criminal statutes do not provide for private civil causes of action, which is what she's trying to do, and it's just like, yeah, not going to work. Likewise, the statute cited in plaintiff's 9th claim for relief, mind-blowing that there's 9, does not create a private right of action. And it goes on with the intermarketing media versus Barlow and all this kind of stuff. Hey, Barlow. Dismissing with prejudice plaintiff's claims brought under 3 federal criminal statutes, including this one, because these statutes do not authorize a private right of action. Nor does the Travel Act. So yeah, it's just absolutely insane that there's more, which is the basis of plaintiff's 10th claim for relief. Because statute does not create a private right of action in collecting cases. Again, all these examples are just perfect. It's like, well, this is happening. It doesn't allow for a private citizen to have any action against them. It's dismissing claim brought under Travel Act and other federal criminal statutes because none of these criminal statutes contain an express private right of action, and plaintiffs have not cited, nor has this court found, any decision holding that these statutes carry an implied private right of action. Finally, the statute underlying plaintiff's 11th claim for relief does not carry an express or implied private right of action. It's Taft. Just stop. Literally, because you're not going to win this. You are being made even more of a fool than what you already are. People will see all of this and they'll just think of you now as that crazy lady, because that is exactly what all this is. Now for this one by here, which this one could be used against basically myself, Tug, which I think she did try to do Tug, and a few other people, because we've talking about her and we've given our opinion on her. And obviously my opinion is that she is a few sandwiches short of a picnic basket. She really is. But with her going in now with this, is saying, for use of name or likeness. Well, okay. But again, people can talk about it because, again, it's in the public eye. You have made some absolute outlandish claims against people, and people are going to talk about it. Plaintiff has mistakenly brought a case of action under California Civil Code because her allegations simply do not fall within the scope of harm intended to fall under the statute. Plaintiff's cause of action is unable to survive because the statute is not meant to protect the kind of allegations she has brought forth. The right to publicity is essentially an economic right. What the right to publicity holds possesses is not right of a censorship, but a right to prevent others from misappropriating the economic value generated by the plaintiff through merchandising of the name, voice, signature, photograph, or likeness of the plaintiff. With that one there, again, we've seen so many times where companies have used the likeness of a very famous sports star, and all of a sudden that sports star has been made aware. It's like, I never gave you the okay. You can't use my face. You can't use my likeness. You cannot use what I've said for this because I do not go for your product. At the moment in time, there's one going on in the gaming world with a video game called Paradise, which is, again, it's a scam because they're using assets from GTA 6 trailers, and they've also put in so many content creators, and I mean big ones, like Ali, Pokimane, all these people who had no idea that their likeness was being used. Now, they know, obviously, because people are talking about it, and they're starting to take action. It's that sort of thing. But California recognized the right to profit from the commercial value of one identities as an aspect of the right of publicity. Due to its economic nature, cases in which these claims are asserted comprise of an allegation by the plaintiff that the defendant has used their name or likeness in the typical commercial context, which is done through advertising, endorsement, or the selling of a product or service. Famous basketball player brought claim under this one because his name was used in an automobile commercial which aired 5 to 6 times on TV. There's so many of this going on, it's absolutely insane. But these cases demonstrate how a typical action under this statute should be brought. where there is, at the very least, on its face, an argument that the defendant could possibly have derived an economic benefit from the alleged use. In fact, the statute requires that the plaintiff demonstrate that there is a direct connection between the alleged use and its commercial purpose. It's absolutely insane that she thinks all of this because someone's using her name, because someone's talking about her. That's it, I'm going to sue you and I'm going to bring a civil lawsuit against you. Doesn't work. Plaintiff has alleged 2 uses that she claims falls under this. First, the plaintiff alleges a single, private transaction in which an audio tape of her voice was sold. This transaction plainly does not fit within the types of claims that are typically brought under this statute and fails to prove any direct connection between its use and a commercial purpose. The cases above demonstrate use where a person's name or likeness was used in a repeated publication, advertisement, or sale to the public masses. These uses are incomparable to the single, private transaction plaintiff alleges. Second, plaintiff's complaint asserts that Mr. Barresi used her name, voice, and likeness in promotional materials profiling her as a Hollywood fixer. However, this unsubstantiated statement cannot support any argument that the use was for a commercial or economic purpose, as intended and required by the statute. Plaintiff's claims fails to assert exactly where these promotional materials are, what product or service was advertised, and how her name or likeness could be by any means aid in the sale of a product or a service that Mr. Barresi offers. Yeah, because when you see this, people are going to be like, who? You know, only people who have followed the Johnny Depp AH case are going to know who she is. She is not Cristiano Ronaldo. She is not some major megastar that she thinks, by the looks of things, that she thinks she is. It's absolutely insane. Therefore, because plaintiff has frivolously brought a claim under this for which the allegations she asserts cannot possibly fit within the intended scope of the statute, her claim can be dismissed. I am going to stop the video by here now because we are about, just over the 10-15 minute mark. And again, there's a lot of stuff we need to go through. We only got about 4 or 5 pages left, guys, so that will probably be out tomorrow. Actually, no, it will be out tomorrow. So we got 1 today, part 2, and part 3 tomorrow. So make sure you're here for this, guys. Let us know what you think about this down below, because this is absolutely insane. First of all, I didn't think that these kind of things were allowed to go into court, because I thought they would look at it and go, yeah, get rid of it. It's absolutely rubbish. That's what I thought. But seeing how Paul and his team have done this one, it's just chef's kiss. It's absolutely amazing, because every single example that they've shown and the actual, the examples of the certain texts where certain things have happened, it's just blowing her entire case out of the water. And it's brilliant. Like and subscribe, guys. Be around tomorrow for part 3 for the finale, and I'll see you then. Bye-bye.